Welcome to That Entrepreneur Life, a podcast about entrepreneurship that takes you from idea to launch and beyond. Each week, your hosts, Andrew Lees and Clint McPherson, discuss different business topics aimed at adding value to any entrepreneur's journey.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of That Entrepreneur Life. I'm Andrew Lees, and I am here with Clint McPherson, my co-host.
What's up, everybody? I'm excited to be here again. Another episode, and we're honored to have this individual on the show. It's episode 12, so let's go ahead and kick this thing off and introduce our special guest, brother.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got the founder of the Athena Group of Companies. It's a business conglomerate that operates in more than 40 companies, and you can find some information about them at marionawfal.com. But we've got Mario Nawfal here today. And Mario, I hope I'm not butchering your last name there.
No, man, I think you say it better than I say it. Can you say it again?
Nawfal?
Yeah, well, now, from now on, it's Nawfal. It used to be Nawfal, but Nawfal sounds cool, man.
Nawfal, okay. Maybe if I do it with a little Australian accent, would that help?
I lost my Australian accent 6 years ago when I left. In Australia, I lived in Australia all my life, and they'd always ask me where you're from. So I don't know where the hell I'm from anymore, because every country I go to, they ask me the same question.
That's funny. Yeah, you do have an accent, but yeah, it's a little hard to pick up exactly. You know, like when we talked last week, I couldn't tell whether it was straight Australian or something a little else in there, but that's pretty cool. So yeah, man, well, it's great to have you on the show. You're a busy guy. You've got a lot of different companies. So let's just get right into it. We've got a few questions, but it'll just be, we'll have a fun conversation and we'll get some good value to our listeners and, just have a good talk with you. So you operate the Athena Group, which is a conglomerate of many different companies, but it all started with one company, right? Your entrepreneurial journey. And I believe that was with Fruithy.com. Yeah. So an Australian company that sells juicers. So how did you get started with that? What motivated you to start that business? And how did you use that to launch your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, sure, man. Look, I'll try to answer the question in a way that gets, not just tells an interesting story, but gives value to people listening about what they could do with this.
Yeah, that's great.
What I did with Fruity is I was door knocking and I was selling any product I can get my hands into. I dropped out of university after I heard a boy get rich at age 14, make his first million. I'm like, crap, what the hell am I doing? And then I dropped out of banking and finance, got into door knocking. And then from there, all it was, my whole career is finding opportunities. And when I do, I double down on them. It's really that simple. So any entrepreneur, let's say you're selling products. When you're selling different products, you can test different products, you can test different ideas. But when one works, you go all in. That's what I did. So I was selling different products, tested many door-to-door. Some worked, so I put a lot of effort into them. And then one of my team members found a blender. I looked into it. I found a need in the market. And I proved the need by selling it on eBay. I didn't know what eBay was. I did a website on a platform called Go-Kart. I've never met a person that's heard of it. That's how bad it was. I didn't even have a checkout function. That was back in 2012, 2013. So I didn't have a checkout option. I was really, really bad at stuff. But people still purchased. And that happened when I could buy mine without having to knock on doors. I doubled down, and then from there it grew. But the whole journey, and I can go through it, all my businesses, all of it was me looking for opportunities. When it works, I double down. There's two things I recommend for entrepreneurs. First one is to listen to, I was just sending it in one of the WhatsApp groups I'm part of. Bill Gross has a TED speech. Just put Bill Gross, Gross, TED. And he talks about the importance of timing in business. That's all I did was time my ideas, launching at the right time. And the other thing is Jim Collins talked about throwing pebbles. And when pebble hits, throw a cannonball. So when you test different ideas, one works, you go all in. That's really what I did. That's how I built all my businesses.
That's powerful, man, because again, you're saying yourself, you double down on what works, right? That's very important. A lot of people, they'll test the waters and then they'll see something that works and then they'll move on because they're like, well, this is going to work. But if you don't double down, then it's like, you're going to lose that momentum that you created, right?
You've got two types of people. You have some people that they love their ID so much. I'm not against those people, but they take such a big risk because they're obsessed with their ID. So without even testing it, they're going all in. They're like, we're going to keep fighting until we make it work. And if it does work, it tends to be a heroic story that everyone looks up to. But 99.99% of those don't work because of timing, or competitors beat them. They didn't have enough funding. They hired the wrong people. There's too many things that could go wrong when you're not testing different ideas. So there's those type of people that just commit on one thing without testing different ideas. And then you've got the other people, the shiny object syndrome. They try different ideas But when one works, they're like, cool, but I still like that other idea. They don't understand when someone pays for a service or a product, that's such a powerful proof of concept. Someone's voting with their money that, hey, I love your product.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you know when it's time to double down? Because there are entrepreneurs with shiny object syndrome. I've been guilty of that myself for sure. Yeah. But sometimes it's really hard to tell what's really working and what needs a little more time, because I think as entrepreneurs, we tend to think, well, it's not working right now, but if I give it some more time, maybe if I do something different, it's going to all of a sudden change. How do you know when it's time to double down?
There's no science to it. I get asked this a lot, and I could never answer it. It would be nice to say, this is when you stop. This is when you double down. There isn't. I've been part of a few companies as an advisor, and I've had to make that decision with them. It's really tough. It's a balancing act, man. Like, you have to look at various metrics. For example, I'm launching a program now. I mentioned it to you earlier. It was only a week ago that we started working on it. And then my team was asking me 2 days ago, we're like, hey, when does that pass the proof of concept stage? I'm like, hey, when we get 1,000 people registering, that's enough of a proof of concept, initial proof of concept. The next step would be to get people to pay. So it comes in stages. Then you've got another team that were looking for an investment, and they're telling me about their idea. They're a platform to allow businesses to liquidate their stock. And they're asking me, this idea is great, this idea is great. I'm like, what metrics have you reached? Oh, we've had 80 or 180 people subscribe to the platform. And they're like, are these sellers or buyers? They're like, it's sellers. Well, sellers have nothing to lose by registering on the platform. It's free, and they liquidate their stock. But none of them have paid. And none of them got a deal out of it. So there hasn't been any metrics. Doesn't mean give up on the idea. But if they've been working on it for a year and that's all they have, give up on the idea. 6 months, give up or make some major change. But if they had some people pay on the platform, that's a whole different story because there's money involved. It just depends on a case-by-case basis.
I would agree. I've spent a lot of times consulting businesses as well. And that's the whole thing. It's like they get an idea of a product or come out with a book and wonder how they can sell it. And they didn't really build up any excitement around it, or they came out with this product and because it fits what they want. And then they're like, why is this not working, man? And I just think a lot of businesses or entrepreneurs that don't double down on some of this stuff, they spin their wheels because they think it's just going to happen for too long. And, it's like, what are you doing to make sure you're not spinning your wheels and you're consistently moving forward? Because sometimes products or services sometimes will take a long time before it can get there. But if you're not changing your game plan or you're not making changes and adjustments along the way, right? I mean, I was in the military. If I continue to shoot one direction and I'm not hitting my target, I'm going to have to adjust. But a lot of entrepreneurs or people that claim to be entrepreneurs, they continue to spin their wheels because they have so much faith and belief in that product. They're not adjusting fire, right? And I don't know if it's not doubling down because it seems like they're doubled down, but they're not doubled down in the right way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they enjoy the shooting too much. So they're sitting there shooting in one direction, but they love the process. That's the first time they hold the gun. They love the process of shooting, but they're not realizing that the goal is not to shoot. The goal is to hit the target. And that's in business. Like, the goal is not to sit there hustling every day, because people love the hustle, which is good. And it's sexy as well. Love the hustle, love the hustle. But the goal is not to hustle. The goal is at the end of the day to have enough money to travel or to buy your family a house. And it's important for entrepreneurs. There's a lot of business people you meet. They've been in business for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. They still find it hard to make ends meet. But you find them going to every single event, networking like crazy. I meet them all the time, connecting, trying to find the next opportunity. But they love the hustle so much. That's why they go to every event. That's why they love chatting to people on a daily basis. And they're not focusing on building a business. So if an entrepreneur falls into that trap where they obsessed with the hustle, which is not a bad thing, but they don't calibrate their compass. They're not going towards a goal and making sure they're meeting certain KPIs to get to that goal. That's a dangerous wheel to be on. And I see it a lot, man. I see it a lot. And they're capable. They're capable to get there. They're just not going in the right direction.
Yeah, it's really easy to be busy. That's not hard to do. You feel like you're doing so much work. You feel so accomplished. All this work is going to pay off in some way, but you're not paying attention to how it's actually going to translate into some payoff. And you feel like you're getting a lot done, which you are, but is it getting you closer to your goal? So I like that, where you're constantly.
Yeah, let's look at two people. I'll talk about building an agency, because that's what I'm starting to do now. I've built a few agencies, and I'm offering a program for that. So I'll use that. I'm not doing it to pitch my program, but I'm doing it because I spoke to 2 agency owners last week on a regular basis. 3. So I'll use 2 of them as an example. One of them is just obsessed in closing deals and delivering work for the clients, and they love the the achievement of actually delivering the work. And they keep doing it themselves. When I say, hey, why don't you get people to do the work? They're like, they won't do it good enough, or I just can't trust someone. And it's very common. And then you've got the other person probably struggling a bit more to deliver the work. Customers having a few issues, he has to go back and fix them. But he's trying to get people to do the work for him. He's trying to delegate more work, get other people to do the work. So one of them loves the work itself. The other one has the end goal of building an agency with team members. In 5 years' time, I'd put my money on the guy delegating the work, as long as he's doing it right. Because he has a goal he's trying to reach. The other person probably make a nice income, but he's going to be a one-man band. And if he wants to build an agency, he's not reaching those KPIs, like delegating work, hiring the right people, building systems. Those are the two mentalities that entrepreneurs should decide.
That lands directly into what I've been battling through for the last several years, right? Like starting my entrepreneurial journey is like, nobody's going to be able to do it as good as I can. Like me specifically in the trenches. But I also realized a year or two in that like, I can't grow my business this way. Everybody that keeps telling you, you can't grow your business that way, that's not a lie. It is fact. You know, you have to delegate. I was an officer in the United States Army. I know what to delegate, but then you get some of the individuals like the guy that you talk to, right? Maybe having some troubles, but he hasn't found the right team members, right? He hasn't put the right pieces in place yet. But eventually, if he keeps moving the chess pieces around on the board, he's going to hit it. And 5 years later, like you said, your money's going to be on him because he's doing what you need to do to scale a business. Like I was, and the other individual you're talking about, like I find myself doing a lot of the work because one of my team members just flakes out. They burn a bridge. And then now it's like, to save my company and to save my face, I actually were like, I got to do this myself. And so I can see both parts of that pie, right?
Yeah, I could never relate to that because I'm obsessed in delegating, like extreme. I don't do anything. Anything I do, I want to delegate unless I literally can't. You know, I can't delegate stretching. I stretch every day. Physio, like, you know, I have a massage gun here because of coronavirus. But before that, I have someone that comes and does that for me so I can work in the meantime. So I get pissed off if I have to do some work. I don't check my emails because that's delegated. I don't check my LinkedIn. The only thing I check is WhatsApp, nothing else. Every part of my life, from what I eat to the business processes, I can take a week off and nothing, you know, very little changes. I'm the ID guy, and you know, I've got my hobby dancing. Unfortunately, I can delegate that. I have to do the dancing myself. But yeah, I've never had the problem, but I've seen so many people that have it. I just cannot relate to it, but it's just so hard to do because I think what happens is they see the short-term pain of delegation because people don't do the work, and they have probably one or two bad experiences. That happens a lot. You hire someone to do it. Probably that's a mistake that you can relate to. They do a shit job because you thought maybe they're capable or maybe they weren't the right person. But I had the mentality that if I can do it, anyone can. And I hire someone. I'm like, hey, can you do this? I do it. That's how I do it. They're like, yeah. I'm like, perfect. If he said yes, he must be able to do it. And then it turns out to be completely wrong. So probably the art of hiring the right person for the right job. And then that's what I struggle with. Then the next step is how you delegate to them. If you don't give them a guide, then you don't teach them like you teach a 6-year-old, they're not going to do the work, and it could be your fault. If you expect them to be as good as you, to get it as quickly as you, just think about it. Why would they be working for you? They would be building their own agency to compete with you. So it's normal in most cases when you're hiring people to do small work, they're not going to have the same abilities as you as an entrepreneur. Now, when you start hiring CFOs, CMOs, they should be better than you at what they do. But junior people to just deliver the work, you know, it's not bad if they're not as good as you or better than you. I know they say hire people that are better than you. Yes, but they'll cost a fair bit. Hire people that are better than you for certain positions, but hire people that are a bit more junior, train them, make sure they're right for the job, look at other projects they did. And if they don't work out, it is normal. That's why building a business is hard.
I love it, man.
Yeah, it's a great point.
I mean, again, like I said, I can relate to it, but let's go move on to another question, man. Now that you have a conglomerate of companies to manage, how do you split your time, and what's the key of keeping everything moving along efficiently? And I know you just touched on basically whether it's having that team or outsourcing it, whatever it is, it seems like you have it in place.
Yeah, team and systems. It's that simple. You have to hire the right people, which I was really bad in. And then you have to build systems, which I have people that do a really good job at doing. So a business is essentially people doing certain tasks. It's that simple. What's the value of a company? If you don't have any copyright or patents, what is the value that you have as a business? It's the people that you have and the systems that you have in place. So let's say you have an incredible background, by the way, man. I love your background.
I appreciate it.
So I say in the background, that beautiful plant I keep looking at. So I was looking at the plant industry. Plants for the house. I haven't entered that space, but I was looking at it. So if you look at my competitors, they have a nice name and nice website. I can copy that like this. But what do they have? They've got systems in place to get the product from the supplier to the customer. They have follow-up email sequences. They have people that have canned responses to answer customer questions. And they have marketing strategies that they use that work. So all these are systems in place. And of course, they have people that understand the product. They put them all, and then I need mechanical engineers for this, but they might need an expert to look at the plant to make sure it's good quality. I don't know anything about plants. But if you put those people that understand the product and that you build over time, and the systems, I think systems are even more important than people, but people build systems. If you put those things together, that's your company. And that's what my business is. All my businesses, any business, it's those two things. And then you add copyright and patent and brand equity to it, which are harder to measure.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the more you can plan in the beginning, I think that's the thing. If you can front load a lot of the work. So a lot of what you're doing is creating those systems and the structure of your business. So you come up with a game plan that can be followed by anybody. You know, I've talked about selling businesses with brokers before, and they're like, you know, if you're a one-man band, good luck trying to sell your business, because it is you, you know, it all revolves around you. You're trying to replace yourself. It's incredibly difficult. But if you have something where it's plug and chug, you can take yourself out of the equation as the owner and put in a new owner, then your business has so much more value. And that's important too, especially I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't think about making money short term with a product or a service, but they're not necessarily thinking about the end game, and selling the business is definitely a good thing. So making sure that they have enough value at the end of the day is really important.
Yeah, so that point you made, that's it, man. Like if you look at the businesses I built, someone looks at them. So these websites, I have them there when I talk to whether partners or potential investors, and it lists all my companies to have a better idea of who I am. So on the Mario Nawfal website, I list most of my companies there. Some of them are not listed because I'm building them. I don't want competitors to copy them. It's too early in their life cycle. But if you look at them, people look at it like, hold on, this guy sold blenders and juicers, and then he's got a kitchen appliances. All right, adds up. An events company that does health and wellness, adds up. They work together. He's got into IBC. That's in blockchain and crypto. What the hell is he doing in that? And then he's got IBL. He's a partner at a law firm. He's not a lawyer. And then he's got an agency to help businesses go remote. So all these, and then the others are more relatable. But they're very different. And I've got I've got a TikTok marketing agency that I launched recently. And then you look at it, I'm like, how is that guy doing everything? I don't find it hard, to be honest. And it's not hard for me to comprehend now. It's not shiny object syndrome. Or you could say it is, but in a controlled way. So I'm self-aware enough to know that I have it. And I have someone that my CFO always makes sure I don't go too far. But when I launch a business, all I do is I have a person called Andrea. She's the systems guru. She's the queen of systems. So I bring her in. I'm like, hey, Andrea, set up the system. Set up Asana, set up Pipedrive, set up whatever, all these magic things you do. So we can have people that can plug in and work. Then I have people that can market the service. And then I bring an expert that is the best at TikTok marketing. That's a TikTok addict. And I have, hey, man, this is what I want to do. You know TikTok. You probably don't know how to build an agency. You don't know how to manage systems. You don't know how to market for clients, but you know TikTok. So we'll take care of the systems. We'll take care of all the systems and processes. We'll do the marketing. We'll get deal flow in. You just do TikTok. That's how I built IBC, for example, in 2018 and December 2018. Launched IBC. In less than 6 months, it became, made millions from nothing, bootstrap. And it became the leading agency in crypto and blockchain. And it still exists to this day, doing really well with a strong name in the industry. And then somehow I became a thought leader in blockchain because I got more and more involved. But in the beginning, I knew nothing about the industry. But I brought in Andrea to create systems after learning the lesson the hard way that I should do that. And getting people that are the best at blockchain and crypto and putting them there in the systems. So I followed my own recipes, put the system in place, get the experts. Now with IBC, what I did is I brought the experts. I undervalued the importance of systems and let the experts do their thing, because that's my first foray outside my comfort zone, which is health and wellness and e-commerce. And I didn't understand the importance of systems until everything almost fell apart. Then I brought my systems people. So I've done that with IBC, and that's how the two come in together. You mentioned another thing where entrepreneurs think short-term and long-term. I think both are important. Thinking long-term too much. Like I've got a guy I've worked with, I've mentored since he was a young boy, 14. And he's the complete opposite of me. We did an interview together because we're the complete opposites in terms of entrepreneurs. He's the guy that aims to be the next Elon Musk. Really smart kid. He's not a kid anymore. He's 18 now, I think. Really smart guy. But he's the person that will go with a business idea, raise money, and go all the way until it doesn't work. So he'll put in 5 years. So that's one extreme, very long term. And then you've got other people that are too short term. Those people that I said will go to every event because they love the hustle too much. They just want the paycheck for the week or for the month. That's it. But they don't think about long term. Again, it's not binary. Short term, yes, you need cash flow short term. Otherwise, long term doesn't exist. But long term, otherwise, you'll be stuck in that circle of short term. So having short term goals of revenue and cash flow while having the end goal of building an agency. They both need to come in together.
Yeah, having that balance is definitely critical. So we were talking offline a little bit about a new service that you have called drop servicing.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. Can you tell us what that is and what are you?
Yeah, I can now, man. I asked my team, is this too early? I don't know when this will go live. Drop servicing, such a cool idea. Someone brought it up by accident and I love the concept because that's what I do. So I've never done any program or anything online at all. I've done a lot of stuff for free because I think it's the best marketing strategy, power of free. So I give a lot of things for free. But this one, I'll probably do a lot of free stuff, but I'll charge for it later on. Drop shipping, you find an interesting product, you get, do a website, put the product there, you test it, it works, you move on to the next. If it doesn't work, and it works really well. A lot of people made good money in the early days. Now it's too competitive and a lot of get rich quick schemes. So I've done this without realizing it. I've done this with agencies. So I find an interesting idea. I don't know anything about, let's say, TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I don't have any, now I have social media, but I don't use it. Or remote gurus, Zoom, Asana, all these pipe drive. We help businesses go remote. So I found all these services that are really cool. And then I find experts at them. I do the marketing, I build the systems, I do the website, everything is there. And I get the right expert and they deliver the work for the clients. I plug them into my system. And I said, when someone's mentioned drop service, I'm like, man, this is the same thing I've been doing. Why not allow businesses, anyone that wants to launch an agency, instead of building it from scratch, let's say you want to launch an agency in cybersecurity and you don't know anything about cybersecurity, but you know how to create a website, you know how to build a system, and then you just market for the service. And when you get clients, you get the expert to deliver the work. I'm like, all right, what about we get people that want to do this, but they don't know how to build the website or market for the service or build a system. We give them the systems, all the tools. We give them a website. We give them the marketing program, etc., how to do LinkedIn outreaches, some great strategies, LinkedIn bots, Facebook bots, all these stuff that work, those guerrilla strategies that most people will hide because they're very, Facebook and LinkedIn don't like them. But we put them all into a program. We're like, hey, this is what I do. This is how I launched my agencies. Whether it went to the millions or went to zero, some work, some don't. You can take it as a program and apply it in any country you like, build a business and choose any niche you like. I don't care what it is, online, dance classes, or cybersecurity, whatever it is. You just plug it into the system where you use our website, use our systems, use our marketing strategies, find an expert, they do the work after you get the clients. That's it. You don't do anything. And if it works, that's where it goes back to the point of proof of concept. So if you plug it into one business idea and it works, double down, become an expert, hire more people, and then you can grow it yourself. If it doesn't work, you can just replicate it to something else. So then I started, I pitched this idea to my team. They loved it. And I'm starting to offer it as well. I'm going to build it into a program. There's no price, nothing yet, but it's my first foray into getting others to do the same thing I did.
Love it, man.
It's very parallel to building a team, but instead of building a team around something that you might be interested in, you're finding the expert.
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with something that you hear a lot. Do something you're passionate about. I'm not against it. That's perfect. But man, I'm not passionate about many things. I'm passionate about freedom, not money, but freedom that the money brings. And I'm passionate about dance. Well, I can't make any money in dance, and money itself, if I'm passionate about that, it's really vague. But I launched all my businesses. The first one was blenders and juicers. I've never used a blender in my life. So every business I launched, I know how business works. I know how creating value, how that works, but I can apply it in any industry. And I've done that. So I disagree with having to be passionate about what you do. Now, it's true, maybe if you're not passionate about business and you're not passionate about, let's say, blenders, then it's hard. But if you're just passionate about business, you're just passionate about the hustle of building businesses, you don't care about what it is. There's many of those entrepreneurs that either don't admit it or just people don't recognize that. Some people just love building businesses. They don't care what it is. I think those are the best people for this model, because they can apply the concept of building a business to any niche.
I think where that comes from, though, as far as that saying or that mindset, is like, if you do surround yourself with something you're passionate about, is basically something that, because not all businesses are going to be successful, right? I mean, a lot of businesses fail. A lot of people struggle because they have an idea or have this product that they think is going to be the next big thing. I do agree to the fact that, hey, they might not be, they're still going to be happy because every day they wake up and they think they have a purpose, right? Because it's like, I'm passionate about this.
They're hustling.
Like if it like we had somebody on talking about fishing, right? Or about a product that he developed. If that's what excites you when you were younger, right? You love fishing, you continue fishing, and you create products around that. I'm excited to wake up every morning, but I can understand your side too, Mario, as far as like, I didn't know how to use any of this stuff when I started these businesses, but at the end of the day, like, you figured out the systems game. And I think if people implement the systems and find something they're passionate about, they can make it work. But you can also, if you implement systems, make it work work just like you did. I didn't know what a juicer was, right? A blender. And now I'm killing it. Or I'm over here. I'm not a lawyer, but killing it in this area too, right? I invested in the right things because one, it's all about the system. Yeah.
I think it's good to be passionate. There's two things. You can be passionate about the product itself or just the concept, the fact of building a business. I'm thankful that I'm passionate about building a business, not because it's better, but because my risk is mitigated. If I'm passionate about selling cars right now, I'm screwed. Or I'm passionate about restaurants, I'm screwed. I'm passionate about what's an industry that's getting killed, not because of COVID, but long term. What's an industry that's dying out? Whatever it is, there are many industries dying. Retail is dying. I love building retail stores. That's dying. It doesn't mean I can't be successful at it, but it's really, really difficult to do that. But if you're passionate about building a business, the edge that you have is that, you could fall into the shiny object syndrome. That's the danger that you have. But the advantage that you have is that you're very malleable. If you're passionate about something that gets hit really hard, you're passionate about business. You can still wake up and do something else the next day and you still be passionate about it because that's your passion, building a business. But if you're passionate about building restaurants and that's all you like, nothing else, you'd be waking up right now during COVID, however long it takes. You'd be waking up and you would be depressed every day, or you'd be sad, or you'd be fighting through, but it's going to be really hard. There isn't really, and that's an extreme example, it's a good example to use. A person passionate about restaurants, I just feel for them because they could be killing it when the economy is good, but when things turn against them, like now is an extreme case, they're passionate about a dying industry. And there's nothing worse than that. It goes back to my initial point, timing. Timing is important. Look at all my businesses, health and wellness during the peak, blockchain during the peak, 2017, 2018. I continue the business. So I have long-term perspective, but it allows me to time my businesses because I'm passionate about building businesses.
Yeah. And you don't get so attached to the product or service that you are.
Exactly. Getting attached to the product is an asset because it gets you to drive and beats your competitors and you become an expert, and it gives you the edge of becoming a thought leader because you're so passionate about it. I haven't thought of that. So becoming a thought leader is a massive marketing tool. But if your product is crappy or the industry turns, that attachment could be dangerous.
Yeah. Or like you said, timing. You could have an amazing product that actually solves a problem and has a lot of value. But if it's bad timing, if it's just not, if you had launched it a couple years before, or maybe you're just early. Some people are early or they're late. People don't understand. Maybe they don't understand yet what they're offering. And it just takes a little time and the learning curve is too steep to educate people, then it just might be a matter of timing. So yeah, sometimes you have a great product or service, but timing's off, then that's nothing that you have control over. So I think it probably does take a balance of like, all right, I need to be able to wake up every day, like Clint said, and get excited about this product or service to the extent that you get through it. When you do have a bad day or a bad week or a bad month, you're going to work through it. But at the same time, when you need to pivot, you got to be able to see clearly and not let that passion for the product blind you.
Yeah. The ability to, if you put all else being equal, it's something very important to remember. All else being equal, if you put two entrepreneurs that have the same skill set, same industry, same everything, the one that wins is the one that perseveres during tough times. When things get tough, someone told me today or yesterday, they're like, Mario, this is really tough to do. I'm like, that's exactly why we should do it, because it is tough. Hard things are usually the lucrative things because most people avoid them. So yes, when you're passionate about your product, you will persevere during tough times. You'll do the hard things as long as everything else is pointing in the right direction. Timing, the industry, the demand is there. Doesn't mean it will fail otherwise. It's just higher risk. It's all about risk. But as you said, the first word you said is balance. Yeah, it's not binary. People love to say hustle, hustle, hustle. People love to say don't work hard, work-life balance. It's a balance. And when they did a research among not millionaires, billionaires, there was a study done. What's the most common characteristic among billionaires? And one of them was they're not binary. They're not black and white. Everything's a balance. A bit of this, a bit of that. Some things are right there. Some things are right there in business and in life. So yeah, I agree with you there.
I know you touched a little bit on this, but as an entrepreneur, what drives you more, the potential of like financial gain or the freedom of flexibility that entrepreneurship provides?
I think they both go hand in hand because it depends on, there's two types of entrepreneurs. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're happy with 6 figures, that's fine. So that's where it matters. Are you worried about, do you care about making more than 6 figures? Do you just like the freedom of being able to travel and not being stuck in an office? But when you get to the, 7, 8 figures, the freedom is a given. Like for me, I don't know life outside of that entrepreneur life. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there it is. You just dropped it.
I didn't mean to. So there you go. But I didn't know a life outside that. Like this is my life. I want to travel. I've been traveling for 6 years nonstop. I've never woken up to an alarm. I don't have schedules. I cannot imagine myself. Like I'm teaching dance now because it's my passion. And I'm giving workshops in different countries. And they say to me, hey, can you give workshops at this time? I'm like, I can't. I cannot have commitments like this because I'm so used to freedom. So for me personally, I'm at the stage where it's more about three things, financial security 100 years down the line. Okay, 100 is a bit too much. 50 years down the line.
You can pass it on to your future family.
Yeah. So financial freedom, stability, freedom in life, and the hustle. Tony Robbins talks about it, the pillars of happiness. And one of them is the progress. And it's, not only Tony talks about it, a lot of people talk about the importance of progress in life to be happy. When you're progressing, when you're not progressing, you're going to be sad. And that usually leads to potentially to depression. But when you're progressing in whatever it is you're doing, humans are designed to progress. So that's another thing. I put in those three things: long-term financial stability, freedom at the moment, and just progress. It's a drug for me. I love that adrenaline of doing something all the time. When I used to now have dance. Before I had dance, weekends used to be the worst for me. Why? Because most of my team, not all of it, most of them were not working. So I literally had nothing to do. Not feel down. I don't have the same level of energy. Weekdays, awake, let's go. I've got the energy. I'm screaming out of excitement. I'm doing a million push-ups because I love that adrenaline, that drive.
Yeah, progression is really important. I mean, it feels so good to get somewhere, to do work and feel like you're progressing, getting closer to your goal. So yeah, I think there is like a high that comes with that. And it's not the same kind of high as you're working at a job as an employee and you accomplish something. That's great, but it's just not the same feeling. When you're doing it, you're controlling things and it's kind of all on the line. Either you do it and it gets done or you don't. It's so exciting to get something done, get something accomplished.
For us, it wouldn't be the same. Now, for some people are, they fit perfectly in a company structure being employees. Some of my team members, they get that same sense of achievement with me. Like we get a Facebook campaign going, they're all celebrating. You can still have that sense of achievement in a company, but for people like me, you, and then the listeners here, entrepreneurs, it's not the same. Like you probably feel like shit. Like if I did something and it worked really well for a business, I'd be so pissed off because I don't have the value and I just did it for them. I don't want a pat on the back. I want a business. I want to be able to benefit from it. So one of my business partners, he's going to be working with me for job servicing. I just been talking to him. I'm like, he's building an agency. I'm like, man, what? You're coming up. He's a really good marketer. I'm like, you're a really good marketer. So instead of building something for yourself, you're doing it for other companies. So they make the millions and they pay you a small amount. And then they later dispute your invoice or bring the work in-house. That's why you want to build an agency. Why not build value yourself? And a lot of agencies, they do that. They start as an agency. It's good cash flow, good for experience. And you can have long-term clients. You can have 6, 7, even 8 figures, but it's really tough as an agency. Small profit margins, 10 to 20%. But what agencies usually do, there's one that did it recently. They're very well known. If I said the name, you'd know them. They built some of the biggest brands, Casper, Hims and Hers, all these guys. They were the agency behind them. So they have an incredible reputation. And they suddenly shut down about a year ago. And they did that because they want to start launching their own product. And that's what they started doing now. One of their businesses is called Open Spaces, openspaces.com. And I forgot the other one, 4 Seasons, 4 something. But that's what they did. They started building something for themselves. And that because they had that entrepreneurial spirit and other reasons as well.
Yeah, sure. I think that's kind of a natural inclination for service-based businesses, if they are entrepreneurial, to want to be like, hey, I want to do that. What I help other people do, I want to do for myself. So to stay productive every day, Mario, what's the most critical thing to that? I mean, you talked about having freedom and not wanting to be kind of chained to a schedule, although there are certain things that obviously you have to do throughout the day. But what's the one key thing, or maybe there's multiple key things to staying productive every day?
Look, I've been productive all my life, thankfully. So I never had those down moments where I couldn't work much. There could be slight ones. I've never had a day off all my life. I just can't. But I'm thankful for that. Now I've got tips for other people and things I do, and I'll mention that in a second. But for me personally, I've been through hell and back. Anyone that's listened to my other podcasts or watch any of my videos, I've been through a scam. I've been screwed by a supply. I've been through things that were, diagnosed with a tumor. I've been not cancerous, not that major, but I thought it was initially. It was bleeding and shit. Wow. So it was a lot of things I had to go through. And then my manager asked me one day, and that's when it got me thinking. His name is Francois. He goes, Mario, I'm not asking you a question. I never asked you. We're going through hell, and his mother passed away 2 days ago, so he disappeared for 3 days. And that's an example. Like if something happened like this to me, I'd still be working because I can't not. So he's like, how do you wake up every day and still be hustling, working? I'm like, I don't know. Like, what other choice do I have? What are my other options? So I couldn't even imagine doing something else because that's how I built myself. Now, what are things you can do? If I'm feeling down, there's a lot of small exercises. Most people, when they're in a state of mind, when they're feeling down, they focus on the mind. Perfect. But research shows that externalities impact your mind as well. What you eat, what you drink. Let's not talk about what you think and the mentality you have. Just what you eat, what you drink, how much oxygen you have in your body. how well you sleep. Those things matter. If you see sunlight, these are small things, but they add up. So I have my sleep. No one interrupts my sleep. I can still work without sleep, and I did before, but I know I'm not going to be as productive. It's science. I'm human. Unfortunately, I'm human. So get your sleep. Eat well. I eat very healthy. I've always eaten well. But if you're going to be overweight or smoking or drinking, that's a tax on your productivity. Drinking and smoking is going to cost you, if you can put a monetary value on it, it's going to cost you hundreds of thousands, millions. I don't know how much anyone would make, but however much you make, take a massive percentage out of it. So eating healthy, no drinking, no smoking. Work-life balance, it helps some, it doesn't need, some others don't need it. It just depends on what type of person you are. If you're a Gary Vee type personality, work balance, that's his life. But if you're a Neil Patel type personality who's really successful, work-life balance, he's got that as well. So yeah, it's just understanding yourself. Things that I do right now, I exercise every day. I haven't skipped a day for years and years, even if it's small, but it's a sense of achievement. I sleep, I eat well, I have breathing exercises. If I feel down, I do, that big breath in, the Wim Hof breathing. So those are small things I do. Cold showers help some. I don't need it. I hate it. Those are the things I do to boost productivity. Then comes to mentality, being in the right headspace, being positive, surrounding yourself with the right people. There's a lot. It's not one answer. There's so many pieces to the puzzle. And the more pieces you end, the better the puzzle will look.
There's so many things, right?
Some are major, but some are small. Focus on the major things. If you drink, forget about the Wim Hof breathing exercise. If you sleep 3 hours a day, forget about breathing properly. Sleep, because that's by far the most important thing.
Right.
And yeah, there's so many things, as you say.
When you get things there and they can all align though, right? When you're eating healthy, when you're sleeping, whether it's the mental preparation, which we really didn't get into, but I mean, all of that stuff can benefit and take you on a better journey through whatever you're currently going to. If you drink, if you're eating unhealthy and you become obese or whatever, I mean, all of that stuff has a negative impact on you, right? Because again, it's not healthy. Your health is going to deteriorate over time. You're going to be less effective. And I think a lot of us mistake being thirsty for hunger, right? I mean, a lot of us are sitting around like we're severely dehydrated without really knowing it. So if we drink water, you won't have to worry about being hungry as much. But again, we get that urge of like the first inclination, right? Y'all are sitting there drinking water and it's like, I want to eat something. People are stuffing their face and
do a 16-hour fast almost every day. Yeah. And I don't have coffee. I don't need it, but plus I don't want to depend on it. I'm not saying it's bad to have coffee, maybe if you have too many. But yeah, those are, the entrepreneurs love to focus on the sexy things. Hustle every day, no need to sleep. You sleep when you're dead. The worst advice you can have. Meditation apparently helps a lot. I don't meditate. I just can't get myself to. But meditation is different for different people. My meditation is exercising and listening to a podcast. That's my piece. But have you tried meditation? Apparently it helps a lot of entrepreneurs.
I have not. For me, I'm kind of the same. Exercises does it for me. At least once a day and something small, but at least every day I've been doing a 10-minute core workout. And that's it, and it's just like only 10 minutes that's no time at all. And it just like, it helps. I mean, I can definitely feel the difference. If I skip that for a few days, I'm just going to feel a little more lethargic. So, but the meditation thing, it's like explicitly is definitely interesting. I'd like to get into that.
Yeah. And I actually bringing that up. I mean, talking to Sebastian Hernandez, like we did last week, that's one of the things he's big into. And he was trying to talk me through a few things and his steps that he offers people. And then meditation was one of them, right? And then I was like, okay, I'll look into that. And he sent me a free meditation, and it was like a 12-minute long thing to try to like get you on the right frequencies. And it was pretty interesting. I'm sitting there, but I think if I clear my mind, I don't know how to meditate, right? He sent me this thing, said, listen to it. Once you listen to it, tell me what you think. After that, then we could do like a more deep dive on how to do it properly. Because I was sitting there, I was listening to it, and I was like, okay, I'm tired now, right? Like, or whatever. So it's like at the time, without knowing what I'm doing, I know it could benefit me, but I'm like, I don't know how to do it properly. So I'm not going to do it right now until we go through that process.
It's all about consistency as well. Like meditation, don't go into extreme meditation. I think people just start, spend 5 minutes by yourself focusing on something. People meditate in different ways. Meditating is just letting your mind go free. That's the core aspect of meditation. So some people do it in the shower. A lot of people get the best ideas they have in the shower. Others do it while exercising. Others do it while driving or sitting in the metro. So there's different ways of meditating. Now, my mind is not designed to just go free. I can't do it. Always thinking. And again, what I was saying is that start them small. Exercise, do 100 push-ups a day. That's it. There was one guy recommended in the book Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. He said, do 1 push-up a day, every day. That's all he does, 1 push-up a day. It's a bit too extreme, but that's all he does. It's consistent and it's something. Now, the benefits of exercise is not to have muscles. It is, of course. But the main benefit is in there. You know, exercise is there's a science. If you go ASAP science, ASAP science, or science, the science of exercise, it'll tell you the impact exercise has on the way you think, your positivity, your mood, on so many aspects mentally. Then comes muscles, and lastly is weight loss. You know, exercise is not the best thing for weight loss. It's what you eat. Muscles, of course, the only way to get them is from exercise, but the benefit there is crazy, is immense for entrepreneurs. I would be annoyed now if I skip a day of exercise. I would be annoyed.
Oh yeah, especially in quarantine, man. I think it would be pretty rough.
I don't feel quarantined, man. Like I'm quarantined in Istanbul, and I'm in so I rented a place 2 stories, so it's got 3 bedrooms because I was inviting another entrepreneur to come stay with me. Then they blocked the borders, but it's massive, and I'm quarantined with my dance partner. Before dance, which started about 3 years ago, my life was under quarantine because I never needed to leave the apartment for years. I don't meet anyone. I only meet them via calls, and most of those I delegate. Why do I need to leave the apartment? I exercise in the apartment. Yeah. Sometimes go for walks around the apartment. I'm not a social person. I don't socialize a lot. And here I've got everything. You know, we dance every day. There's a whole dance floor here. I've got food delivered. So man, quarantine, we have a joke here, and I don't want to seem insensitive. So it's more of an internal joke. We say to each other every time it's a joke, Corona what? Because we don't feel it. My life has not changed, except my business has improved. But probably that's from a life perspective. I don't want to get into COVID, but from a business perspective, any smart business person will be looking at this with the right, lenses, looking at the positive things, how the society will change because of this, and finding opportunities. So that's from a business perspective.
And if you're already working from home, it's like for me, I work from home as well. And it was like, no difference. I mean, business, either depending on what you're doing, like one business might take a hit. I think maybe service businesses are going to take a little more of a hit, but e-commerce, I've got an e-commerce business, and our traffic has literally doubled in the last few weeks, which is crazy. So it just depends on what you're doing.
The sales benefit as well. So traffic doubled. I've heard some stores are mentioning traffic is going up, but because people are home and they're browsing around, especially from their desktop, but less are pulling the trigger. Did your sales grow as well, or they're still a bit more steady?
Yeah, sales are growing. They're not exactly doubling, but yeah, they're definitely growing. So I think you're right. I think there's some of that where people are doing some more browsing and just checking things out. But it's interesting because kind of happened all of a sudden the last few weeks. It was, we just got all this new organic traffic, and it's kind of interesting that it's out there. They've heard about us, but now they're starting to come, they're looking at their walls.
My biggest e-commerce business, sales more than doubled. I'm really thankful. But awesome. I'm telling my team not to fall in a false sense of security, because I think the COVID, no one knows what's going to happen. People make predictions, but it could have long-term impact. I was just reading a study done by London Business School, I think it was called. And yesterday I was looking at one done by Mario Nawfal's report and various reports by those people, Oak Capital. And the impact hasn't really hit businesses. A lot of stimulus checks in the US. So I'm just preparing, there's a famous quote in business, plan for the worst, hope for the best. And I keep reminding myself that I've been through so much that I know the dangers of falling into a false sense of security. So things have never been better for us, but that doesn't mean I'm not cutting costs. I'm cutting costs when things are growing because I'm really concerned, just in case, things could not go bad, but just in case.
No, sure. Yeah, that's smart.
Mario, me and Andrew probably could be on here all day, man, and I love all the value you're bringing to the show. But we want to close out with this one question. What is one piece of advice or tip that you give our listeners to add value to them on their entrepreneurial journey, man?
It's so hard to put it into one thing. Timing, I don't want to say something I've already said, which is timing, because I think it's really underrated in business. Everyone talks about everything else except timing, raising capital, working hard, but nothing about timing. But I'll skip that one, even though that's probably the most important formula in my success. I would say something a bit more basic is the balance of working hard versus working smart. If you look at the most common characteristic among successful people, it's called conscientiousness, which involves 4 things: being organized, being a perfectionist. Now, I know there's downsides to being a perfectionist, but it helps because you get a great product done, and organized obviously is important to build systems. But the 2 most important factors are both working hard and working smart. So hustling like crazy, but making sure your compass is calibrated. If you just work hard every day, but your direction, the path you're taking is not the right path, you're gonna work hard and not achieve anything. And that's probably the most common reason, in my opinion, that a lot of entrepreneurs don't succeed, because they're hustling like crazy. And I meet them all the time. They're not getting there. At the same time, and a bit more obvious, if you calibrate your compass, you know exactly what needs to be done, but you work 5 hours a day. There's many people also heading in the same direction, but they're hustling like crazy. You know, Mark Cuban always says, there's always a punk that's going to eat my lunch. He's right. He's always working hard. That's always driving him. So if you do both, if you do calibrate your compass, which that's how I spend most of my time now in business in my companies, I calibrate my compasses in my businesses, tell my team where to go. And then my team is good at working hard and they hustle and do the work. But if I leave them alone to hustle, they'll be turning on the hamster wheel. And if you leave me alone, because I don't like to do the hard work anymore, I don't like to get my hands dirty. I'm a bit spoiled, but I don't like to do ads. I don't know how to do Facebook ads. I don't know how to create websites. My team does that. Take sales calls. I don't like doing that anymore. I will just, if you leave me alone, I'll just be calibrating compasses the whole time without work, any work being done. So other than timing, looking at trends, short and long term, work hard, but work smart. If you put these things together, I think you've got most of what's important in achieving business. Timing, working hard, working smart. That should do it for entrepreneurs.
Well, guys, I think that's a wrap for episode 12, man. I want to thank you, Mario, for jumping on and taking the time out of your day to join us and help us add value to what we're doing on That Entrepreneur Life, brother.
Keep it up, guys. Thanks for your time.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to That Entrepreneur Life. To learn more about what Mario is working on, check out marionawfal.com. If you like what you heard today, make sure to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or any other major podcast platform. You can also check us on all of our socials and at thatentrepreneurlife.com.
We also want to give a special shout out to our family and friends, include all of our listeners, our followers and subscribers. Thanks, guys, for continuing to support what we do as entrepreneurs. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode of That Entrepreneur Life.
Thanks for listening to That Entrepreneur Life podcast. Be sure to visit thatentrepreneurlife.com to join the conversation, access our show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode as we continue to add value. Until next time.